Today we've got crazy NIL news and some very good transfer prospects to talk about in regards to the Louisville Cardinals. Stay tuned, everyone, and I'll see you guys in a couple seconds.
Louisville has to find some level of rhythm and continuity on offense. There's agreed because he doesn't need plays calling. There's Hancock again. Oh, Russ Smith in the game. Ready for another one. It's Hancock again. Here's Hancock.
Big pick set out on top, but the ball is loose. And now they get it to Siva. It's going to be Louisville in front.
Defended by Louisville. Rozier. Smith. And what a shot!
And the celebration has begun in earnest on the Louisville sideline in their cheering section.
And the Louisville Cardinals are the 75th NCAA college basketball champions.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Louisville Cardinals exclusive series that I have just started. And as some of you might know, if you don't know, my name is Josh. I am one half of the Take His Whistle podcast. I do this podcast with my good friend Parker, who is a Kentucky fan. And real quick, before you click off of the video, Louisville fans, I just want to say the last video I did, which was the first video I did in this little series that I'm doing as far as in regards to specifically the Louisville Cardinals, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on that one. Me and Parker gained like approximately 24 subscribers in one day as of me recording this video, and the video is currently sitting at a little over 700 views. That is the most views and most subscribers that we've gained, and I have personally gained in one day, or in one video for that matter. And Card Nation has just been so supportive of me in that episode, and Parker's very happy for me, and I love doing this. It's very fun. I love doing it with Parker. And if you are a Kentucky fan and you have gotten this far in the video, please support my boy Parker on his videos. He works very hard on it, just like I did on the first one. And also, I do want to say, I apologize for saying that one of our national championships was in 83. It was not in 83. It was in 80. That's 1980, 1986, and 2013. I apologize to the people that might have gotten aggravated at me for that. I'm only 21. So I've only been a fan of the Louisville Cardinals for so long. I apologize, but the feedback was very awesome to read, and I appreciate you, Card Nation. You guys are awesome. Best fan base on earth, best fan base in the nation. Love you guys. So let's get into it. So to start off the day today on Diener's radio show 93.9 The Ville, Louisville businessman Rick Huber said that he was going to make a $1 million match to any donation made to the men's basketball NIL fund, which, if you don't know what that means, for anybody that donates any money to the men's basketball NIL fund, up to $1 million, Rick Huber will match that. So essentially, the men's basketball team can make $2 million. Currently, that fund is sitting at $215,000 just in one day as of me recording this. It could definitely be over that by now, but as of me recording this, it's at about $215,000, which is insane because it's only been up for today. And it's just insane what this fan base is doing for Coach Pat Kelsey, what it's doing for the program. You can just tell that the energy is there from everybody, from Coach. Diener had Coach Jeff Brom and Coach Pat Kelsey all in one Twitter space today. I gave it a good listen while I was at work. And I love the passion from this fan base. This fan base is really excited. It's really making me excited seeing everyone unite together again, because we have not had this type of unification in so long, it feels like, in almost a decade. And it's amazing to see, and to see so many people putting their time and money that they earned into the program that they love. It's great to see. It's great to see, and I can't wait. I just can't wait. I can't say it enough. I'm so excited. But let's get into some prospects, shall we? I know that first topic was a little brief, but, to be honest, there's just not much that goes into it. It's just a lot of support from the fan base. It's a lot of support from our donors. Rick Kuber, if for some reason you're watching this, I want to thank you for doing what you do for the program, doing what you are doing for the program. It means so much to us. It means so much to me as a Louisville fan, and I know there's countless fans out there that are just want to say thank you. So thank you, Rick, and thank you to all the fans that are putting their hard-earned money into the program. It means a lot. Every donation counts. Every donation helps us get these prospects that I'm about to talk about, and everyone's doing their part. You're all doing amazing work. But anyways, prospects. So the first prospect I want to talk about is one that Louisville fans are familiar with, and that is BHH, otherwise known as Brandon Huntley Hatfield. Now, Brandon Huntley Hatfield has included the Louisville Cardinals in his top 4. Now, for those of you that might not know, Brandon Huntley Hatfield entered the transfer portal about a week ago now. Maybe a little less than a week ago. It might have been over the weekend, actually. I don't know the approximate time that he did, but it's been about a week. And, it was during the period of time when the coaching search was... actually, the day Pat Kelsey got hired, so Thursday, Brandon Huntley Hatfield entered the transfer portal. So he's included us in his top 4. In his top 4, he has Pitt, UConn, NC State, and Louisville. So he has 2 Final Four teams in UConn, NC State in there. He has a respectable team in Pitt in there. And then he has Louisville, the team that he could potentially stay at. Now, he canceled his visit to Indiana, because he was set up for an official visit to Indiana. He canceled that and then released his top 4, which included us. So Brandon averaged 12.9 points in his lone season as a Cardinal. He averaged 8.4 rebounds, 1 assist, and he shot 56.7% from the field on the year. If you watched any Louisville basketball this year, and I know it was hard, trust me, I know it was hard, but if you watched any Louisville basketball this year, you know that Brandon was one of the best, if not the best player on the team. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that want to keep him. Me personally, I want to keep him. I hope he comes back because I think under real coaching, under a real coach, I truly think he can blossom and flourish in a Pat Kelsey system and with some actual coaching. I feel like he could become a very great player because he has a lot of potential. He's a great player. He stands at 6'10". He's got height to him. He's got weight to him. And he's got the strength to do whatever he wants in the paint. Now, it was hard because it kind of felt like they were standoffish, especially at the beginning of the year. But as the season went on, Brandon really came into his own and really started demanding that people play better defense on him because Brandon was going to score if you didn't play defense on him. And Brandon is really good. And, to say that the fan base doesn't want him back would be crazy because I feel like on Twitter and anywhere I look, I feel like an overwhelming amount of the fan base wants him back. He's one of the guys that, and let me make it clear, the fan base wants a lot of the guys back because a lot of them are good. A lot of them are good. Caleb Glenn, Mike James, Sky Clark, Brandon, like those guys, and Tyler, the fan base really wants these guys back because they have so much potential. And it could be unlocked very easily with real coaching, with a real coach who knows how to coach them. And I know the connection with all of them with Kenny was so close. I know a lot of them saw Kenny as a father figure, and I get that. I understand that way of thinking with recruits. But I really hope that he understands that he could really become a Louisville legend if he decides to stay. I hope he understands that the fan base he received this last year is not the normal Louisville fan base. I hope they understand that it can be so much better. And I hope if he stays, he can see how much better it can get, and I think he will. But moving on to the next prospect, we have a fresh commitment to the Louisville Cardinals. It happened I think it happened 2 days ago, actually, after I released that first episode. But the man I am talking about is College of Charleston forward/center James Scott, who is a freshman transfer coming from the College of Charleston. He stands at 6'11", 210, and his averages in his freshman season at College of Charleston were 5 points, 3.4 rebounds, 0.6 assists, and he shot 79.2% from the field. Now, he wasn't pulling from three, I'll tell you that. He didn't shoot a single three-point shot all season. But when he got in the paint and he needed to put up a basket and get it in, he made it count. And that 79.2% field goal percentage tells you that just by itself. I mean, the man made a lot of shots and made a lot of baskets. And he didn't get a crazy amount of playing time. He got maybe like 16 minutes a game as a freshman, which is reasonable as a freshman. But I think if he's going to, with him coming to Louisville, I'm not entirely sure if he'll start this year. Coach might want to redshirt him and maybe get him to gain some weight just because he is a little thin for how tall he is. I can see them definitely wanting to get some weight on him, especially at 6'11", because if he can get some weight on him, he's already a great shot blocker. He was a top shot blocker in the Adidas circuit back when he was in high school, and you'd expect that from a guy that tall and lengthy. He's a very lengthy guy, and he's got some hops too. He can jump out the gym if he wants to, and he really showed it this year with his shot blocking ability. There's not much film on him or College of Charleston to begin with, to be honest with you. But from what I did see, he's got so much potential, and he can truly be a Louisville legend if they can unlock that potential with some more weight on him potentially, and just, that ACC level of play experience, that next level of experience, coming from a smaller D1 school at the College of Charleston, coming to Louisville, which is a massive jump. It's a massive jump. You're going from the College of Charleston to a blue blood program, one of the top programs in the nation of all time. So that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure, and but I do believe that they can unlock that in him. I see a lot of people saying that they compare him, or they see a lot of freshman year Montrezl Harrell in him, and I can see that. Montrezl Harrell, he didn't get a lot of playing time his freshman year. Towards the end of it, he did. He has that iconic alley-oop in the 2013 national championship game, but didn't get a lot of playing time, and then truly broke out after his freshman year and really made a name for himself here at the University of Louisville. And I think a lot of people are hoping that James Scott can maybe not get to the level of a Montrezl Harrell, but around that area. And I hope he can too, because if he can, then that's a special talent right there. That's a special player right there. And I think he can reach there. It's all a matter of time. And it's all a matter of how much he wants to work and put in that effort. And I think we can do that. And I think he can do that here. Moving on to the next prospect here. Dante Maddox Jr., a junior transfer from Toledo, has included the Louisville Cardinals in his top 8. The other programs in his top 8 include Kansas, Michigan, Illinois, Creighton, Oklahoma, TCU, and Xavier. And then obviously Louisville to round out that top 8. He stands at 6'2", and he weighs 195. Now, Dante Maddox Jr. was great this year. Great. He was, I believe, I'm actually blanking on what conference they're in. Sorry, this is my lack of basketball coming in. He was a MAC. He was on the MAC. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. He was on the MAC all-pro team essentially. I'm blanking on what it's called, but he was all MAC pretty much. And Dante Maddox Jr. His averages on the season were 15.6 points. 4.3 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and he shot 43.8% from the field. Now, Dante Maddox Jr., like I said, great year in his junior year. And he's looking to come somewhere where he can, get a little bit more exposure. And that's something that he can get at the University of Louisville. Now, what I will say about him is his 3-point percentage this year was actually really good. Now, compared to his field goal percentage, it looks like he shot a decent amount of threes if I'm reading this right. But yeah, so for Dante Maddox Jr., his 3-point percentage was 40% on the year, and about half of his shots on the year were from the 3-point line. So he shot very well from the 3-point line. And just, had an outstanding year for his junior year. And if Louisville can secure him, he looks to be a great addition to that guard room that is obviously lacking because we don't have many players on the roster right now. But if Tyler becomes a starter next year, and if we do manage to get a Dante Maddox Jr., that could be a great backcourt right there. And like I said, all MAC this year, great, outstanding shooting, great averages on the year, and hopefully Pat Kelsey can pull that out. Hopefully he can get a guy like Dante Maddox Jr., and hopefully he can just continue to build this team up because, we got roster spots to fill. Trust me, guys. The next prospect I want to talk about is Terrence Edwards Jr. He is a junior. He stands at 6'6", weighs in at 190, and he is what just happened? And he is a transfer from James Madison, and he was their top scorer on the year, and he's actually taking a visit to Louisville tomorrow or Tuesday, which is the day that most of you are probably going to be watching this. His averages on the year were 17.2 points, 4.4 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and he shot 42.7% from the field. Now, Terrence comes in, and also, just as another thing to throw out there, he was also a all whatever conference James Madison is. I don't know the conferences in my head. I'm sorry. I just, that's a lack of basketball knowledge from me. But he was an all player in that conference, or an all pro if you want to put it into that perspective. Terrence Edwards Jr. was very impressive in his junior year, and if we can get him on this official visit, if we can really impress him on this visit, and if we can maybe pull a Louisville football on him and maybe just get him to commit the day of his visit or the day after his visit, that would be huge for the Louisville Cardinals. And he shot a lot, by the way. He shot 475 field goals on the year, 134 of them being from the 3-point line. And his 3-point percentage was 34.3. So, but like I said, he shot a ton of shots, so that's expected. And he started every game that he played in. He started 36 of 36 games that he played in, which is the first time that he started in every game that he played in. But he made the most of it. He averaged about 30 minutes a game, and he just, an outstanding player, and he's looking to get more exposure, getting some more, a higher level experience, I guess is a good way to put it. And all of these guys can benefit from ACC play if they can translate their game from these smaller conferences to the ACC, which, the ACC is no joke. The ACC is one of, if not the best conference in basketball. I would say it's probably between the ACC and the Big East, personally speaking. I know there's some bias in there just because Louisville was a part of both of them, but I feel like it's pretty hard to argue that, considering that, the Big East has probably the potential back-to-back national champion in their conference, and the ACC has 2 guys in the Final Four. So, hard to argue that. But all of these guys have the potential to be great here, and especially with all the roster spots that we have to fill, they could come in and immediately be starters, or at least rotational players if we can manage to get some of the guys back out of the transfer portal, or if we manage to get more transfers who, turn out to be better during training or are just more ACC ready. Because that's a big thing too. You want them to be ACC ready. You want them to be higher level competition ready. Because if they're not, then it just won't be successful. And one of the things I want to touch on is I got some comments in the last one saying that, all I hear about Pat Kelsey is that he brings energy. And energy. That's all I hear. Like, I want to see wins. I want to see something. I want him to prove it to us. And what I would say to those comments is, first off, give him time. He has a whole team to build. So first off, he needs to build a team. He needs to get a team. That's hard in itself. And I'm sure he's gonna get us right with that. Second of all, the energy he's bringing to the university, to the Louisville Cardinals, to the basketball program is energy that we haven't gotten in about 8 years. This is a different level of energy, and you can see that in the NIL deal that Rick made, in the donations that people are making. You can see that in the season tickets that are being sold and bought by people for this upcoming season. And all he's done is a press conference and hop in a couple Twitter spaces. So you can see the hype around Pat Kelsey. You can see the hype around the program, and he knows it. Coach knows it, and he's embracing the pressure. He's embracing the fan base as if he's been here for years, and the fans are noticing it. And I understand the argument that you don't want to just see energy. You want to see a prove it mentality, or you want to see a prove it thing, as far as you want to see wins. I get that. I also want to see wins. I'm not sitting here and saying that all this energy is making me want to give this guy a lifetime contract by any means. All I'm saying is that the energy he's bringing is a different energy that we haven't seen in 8 years. It's a different type of energy that is hyping up this fan base for what's to come. It's a type of energy that this fan base has been waiting for, so eager to just embrace. We've been waiting to get embraced by a coach, because we have not been getting embraced by a coach for the last 2 years, especially. We've been getting beaten down by the coach for the last 2 years. And the fans are tired of it. And Pat Kelsey has been a great, amazing change from that, from the last coach. And we all are hoping that he can show wins. We're all hoping that he can win against the Dukes, the North Carolinas. We're all hoping that he can get these wins where it matters. And because we want to be back too. We can't sit here and say that all the hype he's brought has immediately brought us back to what we were. We have to see wins, of course, first. We got to see the big wins against the Dukes and North Carolinas of the world. We got to see the wins against Kentucky. We need these wins in order to really know that he's serious about what he says. But what he is saying and what he is bringing to the table already is, again, something we haven't seen in so long, and it's something that is getting the fans ready, and it's getting us hopeful that he can do what he is saying. He's making us believe. He's making us all believers. And that's all that matters. And if he can turn an entire fan base from what they were the day he was hired, because don't forget, the day Pat Kelsey was hired, a lot of people weren't that happy that he was our next head coach. And then a couple days later, the entire fan base changed their mind, and the entire fan base will run through a brick wall and die for this man. So, just to reiterate one last time, Pat Kelsey has made us all, as far as the Louisville fan base, he has made us all believers. He has made us all believe that what he says, he will do. And he says what he says, he will do. And he's made us believe that. Now, what he has to do now is go out and prove it. He's got to go out and prove it, and he's got to keep this fan base on this ride. He's got to make sure we don't jump off the sinking Titanic, as one said before him. And yeah. So the last thing I want to say is, Rick, again, thank you so much for what you're doing for the program. It means so much to me. It means so much to the fan base. Guys who watched the first episode, the people who are watching this episode, I want to thank you guys so much for the support. Card Nation is the best fan base on planet Earth. You guys have shown this 21-year-old kid who's just trying to make a name for himself with his best friend, who's just trying to make a name for him and his best friend as podcasters, because we really want to do something with this. We love doing it. Like I said in the last one, we love doing it. I enjoy doing it with him, and I know it might rub some people the wrong way when I say that he is a Kentucky fan, but that's just the joy that we have with it, with doing this. The friendly banter back and forth with him is just awesome. And, even if you are a Louisville fan, I encourage you to go watch Parker's stuff, because like I said, he works really hard on it, and I work really hard on this, and I know I've got improvements to make. I know I'm sure I make mistakes, but it all comes with time. But I appreciate the positive feedback, Card Nation. I appreciate all of you for supporting me and Parker. I appreciate, the comments, the likes. So does Parker. I know he's not here to say it, but I can tell you this, he appreciates the likes and the comments from the Cards fans. And even if you're not a Cards fan and you're just supporting, I appreciate you. And the haters, keep hating. I love it. But hopefully Coach Pat Kelsey can bring in some of these guys like Dante Maddox Jr. and Terrence Edwards Jr. Hopefully James Scott can, fill out his role in this team, and hopefully we can get guys like Brandon Huntley Hatfield back as a Louisville Cardinal in the 2024-2025 season. And off of that note, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you liked it. Please leave a like, comment, anything you want to comment, and go Cards. Thank you guys.